waking up with us, kicking off your weekend with us. We've got a lot to talk about, guys. Minicamp's underway around the league. My name is Kay. We've got Kyle Brandt from Australia. We have Peter Schrager, Nate Burleson, all here. We're going to start in the place that sent our young brother, Kyle, I don't know what I meant by that, but a gift basket to his door while he's quarantining at a hotel. The Patriots kick off the lead block.
Lead block.
Lead block. Lead block.
Hope they got you plenty of lobster rolls somehow in there, maybe some clam chowder. But let's start in New England, shall we? According to our very own Ian Rappaport, Cam Newton suffered a bone bruise in his throwing hand. This happened last Friday, and that means that, you know, Mac Jones inherits a lot of reps and snaps and practice and more love and one-on-ones. It all matters. The 15th overall pick spoke about his relationship with the veteran quarterback, Cam Newton, and his new nickname also just yesterday.
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, he calls me Mac and Cheese, so I got my nickname. But he's done an awesome job being a good mentor, and he brings great energy. And Brian and Jarrett have done a good job helping me in the film room, and all three of them just watch their reps and learn as much as I can. You know, you don't have to be in on that play to learn. So I just have to figure out how to do that, and I've been getting a lot better just watching tape and learn how to do that, and they've helped me in that regard.
Mac and Cheese and a million fantasy football team names were born. Just like that, you've got him and Super Cam. Peter, how will the Patriots quarterback competition play out in your eyes here on this June 11th show?
Yeah, okay, it was actually really interesting. So Cam had a hand issue, did not play yesterday, so you'd think it would be, all right, let's go, let's get Mac Jones out there, let's see it. Jared Stidham took most of the reps, and Mac Jones got in some, but it was mostly Jared Stidham, which has a lot of people scratching their heads saying, really, we're going back down the Stidham road? I think it tells us a lot about what the Patriots are doing here. They are not rushing Mac Jones onto the field. They're going to take their time, and they're going to make sure he is fully ready before he becomes the anointed guy. And I don't think we can look at the team right now after 1 week of training camp or mini camp and say what we know they're going to do in week one. But I would say all indications I have, Cam Newton is the #1 starter. And the fact that he's still so raw and so green, they brought in Hoyer and they have Stidham. I think there is no rush to throw him onto the field. I would also look at the nicknames thing. So his name is Michael McCorkle Jones, and so he already has a nickname in Mac Jones, but I guess Cam felt he needed another one in Mac and Cheese, and it adds to a list that I've been compiling here. So we've heard him talk about Jared Stidham as Stiddy, Brian Hoyer as Hoister,
amazing,
N'Keal Harry as Doughboy, which I think is a shout out to the show Atlanta on FX, Matthew Slater as the Honorable, and my favorite one, long snapper Joe Cardona, the Navy guy, is referred to as Snapper Guy. So he is a long snapper that goes by Snapper Guy, which I think is just a fantastic nickname. And if it's not on the nose enough, it's right up there with Mac and Cheese. Long story short, Cam Newton is the man in that room right now, and everyone looks to him for their cues. And I don't think Mac Jones is going to steal that job for week one. He might be the guy come week 8, week 9, maybe even a little sooner, especially if Cam can't stay healthy. But I think it's Mac Jones, Cam Newton's team as of right now.
No doubt about it. I thought if it's Mac McCorkle, I feel like we could have went with some type of Eminem reference, but I do like
nicknames are not great.
Cheese, that's for sure. Yeah, they're not. They're all right. I mean, come on, Cam. I need you to put more effort into the nicknames. Would that make, if he's Eminem, would that make Cam Newton Dre? Everybody forgets about Dre, and I feel like everybody's forgetting about Cam right now. No, Cam is going to be the starter, and I've been saying this since day one. I mean, you consider everything that's going on, not just Stidham and Hoyer and also this young Mac Jones coming in. Forget about that for a second, and I know we want to see Mac Jones because we're all excited about a draft pick and him being the next Tom Brady. Let's just think about what Cam Newton has. One, he has new weapons for the first time. Last year, he had guys out there that couldn't make plays for him, along with him not making plays himself. But then when you consider him having another year, I'm talking about a legitimate offseason where he can learn the playbook like the back of his hand, Cam Newton is going to go into the season more comfortable than ever. The biggest question is, will he go into the season healthier than ever? Because that is the biggest thing for me. And this isn't a good sign that at this point in June that Cam Newton is sitting on the sideline with some type of small injury. I don't want these things to start to compile up. By the time we get to August, he's already banged up. I hope this is precautionary. Cam sits out, gets healthy, because I truly do feel like this might be one of his last laps around the starting position in the NFL. Because if this doesn't work out, if it's X's and O's, or if it's talent, or if it's execution, or if it's health, the Cam Newton's going to be in a position where he'll be fighting for maybe a number 2 spot for the rest of his career. But if he does indeed ball out this season, then Cam Newton can raise his hand up and say, I still got the juice to be a starter. So for me, I do feel like Cam Newton will be the starter, and I'm going to stick to that.
Well, if he doesn't, he'll change his nickname from Mac and Cheese to Mac Daddy. Listen, I'm going to try to be nice about the Patriots. I'm very positive because, as Kay said, they did send me a gift basket here in Sydney. But it wasn't filled with chowder and all that stuff. It was filled with Australian things called caramelized coconut dotties and Tim Tam biscuits, and they were delicious. As far as Mac Jones, far be it for me to doubt his qualifications. However, I don't think he's going to start. I think this is Cam's job because you know what? Mac Jones' new qualification is he has a head coach who hates rookie quarterbacks. This is just a fact. Belichick doesn't do the rookie quarterback thing. In fact, I have vivid memories of him for years talking about rookie quarterbacks playing against him, way back to young Roethlisberger. And he'd always tell this defense, he'd be mic'd up on the sideline telling them, make the young guys go to their second read, jump everything, jump the first read, jump the short stuff, because if you make them go to the second, these guys will mess up. I'm telling you, I think it'll be Cam. And you know what? You might wonder, like, has Belichick ever started a rookie quarterback? How many times during his years has he started a rookie quarterback? Look at the board. This is the entire list. Okay, 2 different guys. Now, Jacoby Brissett, we remember that. Jacoby Brissett started because Jimmy Garoppolo was hurt and Tom Brady was suspended. Went 1-1. They piecemealed an offense together. It sort of worked. And then Eric Zier, a rookie out of Georgia, in the last year Belichick was with the Browns, 1995, before he was fired. It's gone disastrously. So I think he hates rookie quarterbacks. I also think Belichick loves Cam. Like, he really likes Cam. I'll even give you a little spice this morning to start the show. In my opinion, the first round rookie quarterbacks this year, in the order of most likely to start week 1 to least, I got Lawrence out front, then Fields, then Trey Lance, and then Mac Jones, all the way down at number 4. Whoa. I think Shanahan's a little bit more of a gambler, more of a wild man. I think Mac Jones is the 4th. And we all know this. Sometimes with that mac and cheese, you got to let that cheese cool down and congeal a little bit, get a little bit chewy. It's much more enjoyable then. I think that's what's going to happen to this mac and cheese.
I love it. You got to get yourself, by the way, you just made me so happy talking about Australian candy. Cherry Ripe, the entire Cadbury catalog. Picnic, caramello koalas. It is all so delicious, and thanks to the Pats for hooking our boy up. I ask you, Kyle, because Cam's already dealing with an injury, right? He's got this, no fault of his own. Mac Jones is now inheriting really valuable, meaningful time, practice time. We heard Jordan Love sit at the podium and say, I like getting these reps. It's really important. I'm getting them. I'm going to make the most of them. Is it fair that we just have to look at health as a big factor in this with Cam Newton? He missed 14 games back in 2019. He was up and down last year dealing with injuries. Again, no fault of his own, but we can't be afraid to say that that health concerns are sort of tied into Cam Newton through this process, right? Because, I mean, lately it has been. Health's going to play a factor here, Kyle.
Well, first of all, it's not fair to bring up the caramel koalas without having some for everybody, because I took down 26 of those things. Nate and Peter, you rip them open, they're a one-shot deal. Bam, throw the wrapper over your shoulder. Yes. They know how to do it. Australian for candy. Yes, Kay, it's totally fair. Last year, we weren't even sure if Cam Newton could throw a ball. And every year we hear, he's back, he's reconstructed, best shape ever. Now, look, this is not that, but he's already hurt. It just seems that if it's not one thing, it's another, and he's going to step down a manhole cover the next time. I think it's extremely fair. And all I want to see, and I know, Peter, you've been big on this, can he rear back and huck that pigskin 60 yards if he wants to? Can he go deep at all? Because I feel like we haven't seen it in 10 years. It feels that way. So it's totally fair. Maybe that's how Mac gets on, Peter.
Yeah, and it's interesting because last year he was off to a great start. Remember weeks 1 and week 2, he looked good. He had that Sunday night game in Seattle where he went blow for blow with Russell Wilson, and then he got COVID. Misses the game against the Chiefs, and Brian Hoyer's in there playing quarterback. They replace him with Stidham. Cam eventually gets back. Was never the same. So I'm not making excuses for Cam either, but to beyond the physical health, last year's season could maybe have something to do with the fact that he had the coronavirus and he never fully recovered. Yeah. Now you're fully out of that mode. He's obviously got the antibodies, and now we look towards this season where it's a full off season. It's got Josh McDaniels' playbook. and maybe his body is healing even more. This hand injury, they're saying it's not major. As long as it's nothing structural, as long as it's nothing that has to do with his arm, I think we might see a healthy Cam. To Nate's point, this might be his last shot at being that number one primo guy.
Yeah, and I agree. All signs are pointing to the Patriots giving him every opportunity to be the guy. To me, health is always a bit of a factor to consider going forward. And you might have to eat the mac and cheese before it congeals because you're just that hungry. You need a guy out there throwing the ball. Okay, it is Feel Good Friday right here on Good Morning Football with Kyle, with Nate, with Peter, and myself. So we're putting it to you, whether it's an NFL player, a team, a fan base, coach, whatever, who should be feeling good right now? Hit us up at GMFB on Twitter. We'll get your tweets on the show. That'll be really fun today. You fuel us, so keep it going on Twitter, and we will be back with